Hey, I bet that title got your attention. It's clickbait. That's a YouTuber trick, monetizer trick. Um, yes, well, maybe that's a little premature, the death of Trojan Horse, but it does look a little rough around the edges. Let's be honest. In the last, let's just call it a year. In the last year, we have done some consolidating of parts for the Fail TD, which I have to readily admit is my favorite car. I like it the most. It's my favorite. And we have, used some parts off of different cars to move the fleet along. Some of it was just a matter of priority. At least, I've been doing the car thing for a long time, so to speak. I know a lot of you guys have, doing the car thing, had a car. When I say I've been doing the car thing for a long time, it's, I've usually had a couple of different cars, so, and no other hobbies. When I'm doing cars, that's all I do. The only time I haven't really done cars is I played paintball for a few years and really focused on that. My extra money and stuff went into that. So, but when it's cars, that's usually what it is. It's cars. I'm scheming and dreaming and stuff. So, and I go from where I have a few cars down to where I don't have as many cars, and so on and so forth. And so, because I was so burned out and just frustrated in general with the car hobby, YouTube was part of that as well, part of the hobby. Wasn't having a lot of fun with it. I was frustrated. There's just, other things going on, and just, just life in general was not what I wanted it to be. I mean, and a lot of people's lives in general aren't what they want it to be. So, I just was decided, I'm just going to do the LTD and whatever. So, I started getting parts from different cars to make the LTD what I wanted it to be, so on and so forth. And to be honest, a lot of these cars, not a lot of them, but some of these cars have been accumulated strictly through, not for YouTube, but YouTube did play a part in it, because I was like, hey, this will be a fun project. The YouTube has always, for the most part, has always done what I intended the channel to do for me, and that was to be motivation, to work on the cars, to go to the track, to try stuff. When I don't kind of want to work on it, I'm like, hey, I'll go out and make a video. I don't focus on the work as much. It was more, kind of take the video and have a good time and joke around. That really got to the point to where I felt like I was focused, at least self-imposed, stressing, or whatever you want to call it, focusing on the video versus working on the cars, and I was frustrated and everything else, so whatever. So we ended up with some cars that realistically we probably wouldn't have bought on our own, and one of them was the Trojan Horse. Now, we are going through a midlife crisis, a midlife YouTube crisis. I've never grown up, so I've never been through a midlife crisis, because you'd actually have to grow up and be mature to do that. I've never achieved that. It's never been a goal either, honestly. But we're going through a YouTube midlife crisis maybe. For some reason, we're more motivated. I would say for some reason. There's a lot of different reasons, that things happen in your life or whatever. Some of it is not so much. Teresa's has more given the blessing. I don't want to say given the blessing, because she doesn't like it when I make it out like she pulls the strings or something, because it's not like that. We are a team. We are a 100% team, more or less equal partners, even though I do think she's higher percentage, she's a majority shareholder in the organization. So we are a team. And for me, it got to a point to where her not being involved or her seeing me be frustrated and stuff made it less fun for me. If she's engaged in it, and I don't want to say she's always been supportive, but if she's more engaged in it, then it's way more enjoyable for me, because she is my best friend in the world, and we do a lot of stuff together. We spend a lot of time together. That's important for us, not because we just enjoy each other's company. It's just more fun. So her being more engaged, I should say, in the YouTube channel, or kind of helping guide me through it, makes it much more enjoyable for me. It's like a weight has been lifted. She has lifted the weight off my shoulders, as far as telling me, don't worry about it, just do what you do and it'll be fine. It doesn't, just don't worry so much, because she's OCD, so she understands sometimes I obsess over things. It's weird stuff, but I do obsess over it. I'm very motivated by inspiration and vision, creativity, whatever you want to call it. You wouldn't know by looking at the cars, but if I don't see it in my head, I do not want to mess with it. It's weird. But she understands that. So she has been more engaged, and that has made things much easier or more enjoyable on my part. And so that has taken what was a smoldering ember of a YouTube channel and interest in it, and she is like Tom Hanks. She has blown it into a little bit of a fire. Well, we can put our hands against it and warm up. So, plus, I'll be honest, the monetization thing, it's not so much about the money. It's just I like watching numbers. So to see if it's doing anything interests me for some reason. But also adding to that is that, hey, we can put that money back into the cars, regardless of how much it is. And the first month will be kind of curious to me to see actually what the channel does, if it does anything or whatever. But what I would like to do is we get asked about a couple of different things on the channel pretty, I don't say religiously, but these things do pop up. No one ever asked about the silver car. No one really ever asked about Brain. No one really asked about the Skylar car. No one asked about patches. Nobody really asked about the Blue Dragon that much. The cars, or the stuff that gets asked about the most, and again, it's not like there's 10 people beating down the door asking these questions. It's just, you just kind of start seeing a pattern because you read the comments, and the Trojan Horse is one of the cars that gets mentioned a lot. And I understand that because people started watching the channel because of this car. We started the channel because of the LTD, just to get us motivated to work on it. But we bought this really as a YouTube project, just to do it on YouTube, to make videos and have fun with it. And it served its purpose. And a lot of people got behind that or were inspired by it, by the car and what was being done to it, that is very, I guess, relatable to guys that don't go out and, you don't have a lot of money, or you're trying to do stuff at home and you're just trying to have a good time and make your car where it runs decent, or it's decently quick, to be at the track. You're not, whatever. You don't feel less than, I guess. So people kind of gravitated toward it somewhat. And to be honest, we reached a point with it, especially with the nitrous stuff. I was frustrated with it and get distracted by other cars. That's an honest answer too. And if I don't have a vision or motivation to do something, then I don't want to do it, or I'm not interested in working on it. Now that, again, if you've watched this channel for a while, it goes like this. I'm like squirrel. I mean, I see, and I start working on something just because of motivation. I don't fight it. I just go with it, because that's how things get done, at least for me. So what does that all lead up to? Well, this car is in a state of disrepair. so to speak. We are missing a brake line off the passenger side. We are also missing, well, let me show you what we're missing. You can't see the brake line, of course, but whatever. Originally, we were going to take the struts out of the car, and this car also has Moroso front drag springs. We were going to take those and put those on the 86 back in the springtime when we were doing our headers and solid motor mounts and stuff like that with the fuel injection. We wanted to go back to the track. And the car ran poorly, and I got super frustrated with it and just parked it in the backyard. So that ended this removal. I got this far and just stopped because just stopped. Hand puppet. You don't show your face around here. If you're going to think, all you think you're going to do is get paid. We stopped in our tracks. So we also had taken the headers, the long tubes off, and put them on the LTD. We also took the steering shaft out and put it on the LTD. We robbed the underdrive crank pulley, the race crank pulley, and that is currently on the 86, if I'm correct. The alternator gave itself up, possibly. I think it gave up to the 86, so I forgot that was even gone. The mini starter went to the 86. So you can see a pattern here for a lot of things that happened that we're missing. We've also went ahead and pulled the injection harness out of it because I'm going to be honest, guys, this car was not in a good place in my mind. So we've also we just took the seat out. We robbed the shift light out of it. That went in the 86 as well. Oh, I thought I took the MSD out, but it's still in there. Oh, that's right. I used the other one that guy gave me. Thanks again for that MSD I was given from a subscriber. You guys are fantastic. This is so the car is still here. So where does that leave us? This lump of junkyard iron. Does anybody know what this is? Can you guess what it is? You should know. Because it gets asked about from time to time as well. It's the 5.8. The 351 Windsor. And God, my phone's probably gonna die. Let me explain this real quick. Like, I know this is just a long video of me talking, but I don't even care anymore about that stuff. You watch it or you don't. There's a reason why I bought the 351 and had some plans to do some things, but plans change, ideas change. Here's my problem with the 351. And this may be internet myth. I don't know. I should not listen to this stuff because I don't listen to a lot of things anyway on the internet. So I shouldn't listen to it. I should just do it myself and see what actually happens. But, these things are notorious. You can't turn them. The factory ones, rod bearings come out of it, the crank bearings will come out of it, everything will come out of it. It's just garbage. You just can't turn it. It's $6,000, that's it. You turn it, and even turning it $6,000, you're playing with your life, playing with this life. So the problem with the 351, in my opinion, is that it would be a turd. Because I don't have enough cylinder head for it. I don't actually have a set of heads. Well, maybe I do, but I'm not putting them on here. I don't have enough cylinder head for it. I don't have enough camshaft for it. I just don't have enough anything. I don't have a carburetor for it. So it's like I kind of just talked myself out of doing it. I don't want to build a stroker. If you watch this channel, that ain't what we do. We ain't taking stuff apart, taking the machine shop and coming back with a $3,000 build, short block build, and then go out there and launch it. The factory does a great job putting junk together, in my opinion. So we're not going to pour a bunch of money in a stroker kit or anything like that. That is not what we do. We take just factory garbage and we bolt kind of garbage to it, and then we put it in a garbage car and we try and make it run better than garbage times. That's just our MO. So, but that car, I'm just accepting the fact that car is a YouTube car. That car was this, the car belongs to the channel. It belongs to you guys. So what does that actually mean for us? What do we have for the 351 actually in parts? Well, it's already got a pan that will work. I'm pretty sure the van pans work on these things. We have some camshafts we can use. We've got headers for it. I bought headers for it a long time ago. I got long tube headers for this thing, 351 swap headers. And we have a set of cylinder heads. Let me go get those real quick. I'm gonna show you the heads what we bought. All righty then. What do we have here? These are just, wow, I didn't even realize that. Huh. These are your basic Pro Comp pieces of garbage. They've actually got Ford guide plates in them. That's amazing that it even has that. These are your basic Pro Comp pieces of crap. I think we gave a mere $300 for these. Why do we get such a great deal? Because this one has a bashed chamber. That is where a Phillips head, God dang it, Phillips head deal fell out of a drill or something, bounced around in here, and it tore the chamber up. And you know, we think we can get that fixed, so, or do something with it. We think we can fix it or have it fixed and still not be into them for $1 million. Realistically, I shouldn't have bought these because they're probably just trash. I mean, they're just, you know, they're just whatever. But they're aluminum, 3/8 studs, so they're made for the RPM. But that's what we got. And here, let me show you this. If you can see this, I'm terrible at looking at stuff like this. There you go. Can you see all that mess right there? All right. That's what we got. So we got these heads. Now, I don't know if we're going to put these on immediately. So this is what we're thinking to get to the end of this deal. This is what we're thinking. Trojan Horse, converted to carburetor. You know that's happening. Yeah. Put a carb on it. Let's call it simple. Converted to carburetor with a 302 and everything in it. We know what the car ran. The car ran a best of a 735 at 91 when it was EFI with a ported exploder on it. So let's put a carb on it. Let's convert it to fuel. Let's convert it to carburetor and see what it runs like that. And while we're doing that, so we can get the car back up to snuff and do a few things to it. There's some stuff we need to change on it, or that we can update, make it better and stuff like that. Then we can start putting this together, or, you know, putting it together, because we ain't taking it apart. We're just going to take the oil pan off of it and take a look at it. Maybe, maybe not, and bolt some heads on it. But I need to know what you got. What do you guys think about heads? What do you want to see? I mean, do we just go for the whole enchilada right off the bat and put heads on it and something? I mean, or do we do something? I hate to say it, GT40s. I said I wouldn't do that, but you know, GT40s. You know, if we can scrounge up a set. I don't know, just put something kind of mild on it, and I don't know, camshaft wise, I don't really know. We've got some options, and just make a kind of an everyman's combination. You know, we're not going out and getting a custom cam or any of that kind of mess. We ain't got that kind of money. We, even regardless of what YouTube says. So is that, what do you think? What do you guys think? I'm not going to put a power adder on it. Don't even say that. These are your choices. Do we start simple, basic, or do we go ahead and kind of put the best of the junk that we got on it? You guys tell me. I'll mull it over pretty hard and we'll see where we end up. But I'm trying to merge two of the things that you guys want to see or have mentioned into one thing that gets the Trojan back out into the game, that gets the 351 in the game, and maybe we'll have a game. So I'm trying. I'm trying to make it work for everybody. Work for me, that I'm motivated to work on it, and work for you guys because you want to see it. So, or just not do any of it. We can do that too. So you guys let me know. You put it in the comments. We'll go through it and we'll come to a consensus, and maybe we'll get the Trojan back out. I mean, there was a time when I just didn't care. I was just going to part it all out and the hell with it. But I'm nostalgic sometimes. So that's what happens. That's why I hate getting rid of stuff, because I don't know. I may wake up tomorrow and be in love with it again. So anyway. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for supporting the channel. We appreciate it. Every penny counts. And thanks for, God, I'm a terrible salesman. No, maybe I'm a good salesman. Thanks for watching. And until next time on Substandard Leader and Box Body Videos, builder of the 351, not Windsor. No. The 351 winner. So when we put 351W by our stuff, we're going to put it in capital letters. Not Windsor, baby. 351 winner. Change my mind. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video.